So now let's talk about character mode. If we come across over here, I'm going to switch this into character mode. And this is basically where you can have your own characters trained inside of the tool so that you can use them in any situation, anytime. For example, if I come over here to the media library and I select this pirate person, and then I come back over here to generate a prompt, it's obviously going to generate a prompt based off of this pirate person. Now, if I were to be on standard mode and generate this, it's basically just going to generate a generic character that's a pirate. However, if I switch this into character mode and I choose one of my characters, such as Kira, well now, if I click that button again, as we can see, we now have Kira as a pirate. As always, I can make custom modifications to this. And so here I'm just going to say turn the woman into a man. So now it's basically going to iterate this prompt, changing it into a male character. And so if I come back up here and I switch the character to myself and I generate the image again, well, now all of a sudden we have me as a pirate. So I don't think I'll be commanding a whole lot of respect from my crew in this outfit. Obviously, we need to make another iteration. So here I said change it into a masculine, gritty pirate outfit. Describe the outfit in detail. I obviously don't want to have to think of all that stuff myself, so I'm just going to have the AI think of those details for me. Okay, so here is the updated prompt. I'm going to click the button again, and so this one is definitely looking a lot better. But now let's get this character into action. So I'm going to say make it so the man is on a pirate ship on a stormy sea. So once again, it's going to iterate on this prompt. Here's the new prompt. Let's generate the image. And now all of a sudden we have a nice cinematic image of me as a pirate on this boat in the stormy sea. Now I can obviously transform into any scene or situation if I come back to the media library right here. And just for fun, I'm gonna go ahead and select this image of this creepy little doll. But remember, I still have myself selected as the character, so when I hit this button, I don't know what's gonna happen. Let's find out. And so now it's created me as a little girl. That is actually what my face looked like as a baby, so that is pretty creepy. But we're not really getting the little demon doll aesthetic. So here I'm just saying make it more detailed, and let's see what the AI comes up with. Okay, so it's definitely having a hard time turning me into a porcelain doll, but definitely still creepy nonetheless. Let's try one more, turning me into this Spartan warrior type of guy. So we now have that as the active image. I'm going to generate a new prompt based off of that. Here's our prompt. Let's generate the image. And here is me as a Spartan warrior. So you get the idea. Once you have your characters trained into the tool, you can literally put them into any scene or situation extremely easily. Okay, so let's talk about how to train your own characters into the system. So what I'm going to do here is click on the home button. And now if we scroll down, we can see this one right here called build a character. I'll click that. And let's just say I wanted to train a character of myself. So I'll just call it Scotty. You can also put a description here, or you can just leave that blank. Now I have a folder here that has a bunch of different reference pictures of myself. So if I open this up, we can see that I have a picture from the back, picture from the front, side profile, and all these different angles and perspectives. And that's really important because you want the AI to understand what your character looks like from multiple perspectives, close up, far away, side profiles. So what I would do in this case is simply drag all of my images into this slot down here. Now, generally you want to use anywhere between 10 and 20 pictures is pretty good. In this case, I have 39 pictures, which again, the better the AI can understand what your character looks like from multiple perspectives and angles, the better. So that's one of the biggest things is when people try to train their characters into the system and they're getting really bad results, it's usually because they only used, 2 or 3 pictures and there's really not a whole lot of variation in those pictures. So again, you need to help the AI understand what the character looks like from multiple perspectives. Now, I've already done this, so I'm not going to do it again, but now let's talk about how to create a custom character, such as my character Kira, which was made completely from scratch. So what you're going to want to do in this case is come back down here to the AI canvas. So here I'm just going to change this to portrait, and I'll go ahead and change the model to image in 4. And for this, I'm just going to go ahead and leave it on standard mode. Coming over to the media library, I'll just go ahead and start with this image right here. I'll select that, generate a prompt, and now it's generated a prompt based off of this image. So I'll go ahead and click generate. All right, so here's what it came up with. And now coming down to iterate, I just said make it so she is looking into the camera. She has red curly hair and blue eyes. So now it's going to modify the prompt with those details. Here's the new prompt. Let's see what we get with this. Now, of course, I can test some other models here. If I switch this to Flux Pro, for example, let's see what we get with that. Right, so here is the version with Flux Pro, and for the love of God, somebody loosen the strings on that girl's corset. That does not look very comfortable. Now here, I'm just saying make it so she's wearing a fitness outfit. I'll click that again, and let's see what we get now. Okay, here's one from Flux Pro, and then here's one from Imagen 4. Okay, so I just made a handful of different variations here, but after you end up finding one that you like, let's say this one, for example, is the one that I want to work with. Well, now I just want to click the little check mark to set this as the new active image. And then I'm going to come over here, switch into consistency mode. And this is how I can start generating different perspectives of this character. So I might want to do one as a selfie. Let's see what happens with this, right? Here's the selfie version. And then I'll do the side profile. And then I'll do one from behind. I'll do one with a more zoomed in view. Let's try a drone view. Here I told it, make it so she's wearing a bikini at the beach. Her face looks exactly the same. Because again, we want the AI to understand what she looks like from multiple perspectives, multiple outfits, multiple environments. So now I'll go ahead and set this one as the new active image. And I can start generating multiple perspectives using this one as well. Right, so now I have all of these images of this model with different perspectives and angles. Obviously, you can spend a lot more time than I did to make sure you get the exact look that you're going for. But the point here is that you want to be able to create a folder like this that has your model from multiple perspectives and angles and outfits and environments. So now that I have these images, I can come back to the home and then come back down here to build a character. And we'll just call this one, I don't know, Jazz. I'll drop my images into the slot and click the button. And now we can see that the training has started. So now we can see here are my trained characters. And when this one is done training, it's going to pop up and appear right here. This can generally take about 15 to 20 minutes. And so after waiting for that, we can now see here is Jazz. So once again, coming back into the AI canvas, if I switch into character mode and I click the little drop down, we can now see Jazz is on this list. I'll select her. And then coming back into the image library, I'll go ahead and use this pirate image again. We'll generate a prompt off the pirate image. Okay, and again, I have Jazz selected as the character. So now when I click this button, we should see Jazz pop up as this pirate. All right, so here she is as a pirate, right? Coming back into the media library, what if I wanted to turn her into a Star Wars character? Let's give this one a try. I'll generate a new prompt. Here's the new prompt. Let's see what we get. All right, here's what we got. Not exactly the best Star Wars image, but another thing that I should note is that if you don't like the output, you can simply re-roll the prompt by clicking this button again. And so after re-rolling the prompt, I got a different output. Let's see what we get this time. Okay, so here is the second output, and this one is definitely looking a lot better. Let's try one more, turning Jazz into the tennis girl right here. I'll select that, generate a prompt off of the tennis girl, and let's see what we get with this. Okay, so here is Jazz as the tennis girl.